Hey, it is Sunday night, so you know what that means. It's time for Learning with Lynn. So I'm Lynn Huber.
And I'm Richard.
And this is Richard. I want to welcome you out today. If you're here, say hi. If you're watching the replay, be sure to type replay so we know you were here. So today we're going to talk about expand your reach on social media. But before we get there, I'm going to share my screen. So let me move some things around. Hi, Denise. Good to see you. Okay, so you should be able to see my screen now. This is my blog. This is onlinebeautybiz.com. This is where I do all of the training for our team members. So if you're on our team, you should already be on this blog. But this is available for any representative. We're here to support you as much as possible, regardless of whether you're on our team or not. We're here to support you. So hi, Sandy, good to see you. Cinda, Lisa, good to see you. And Doug is here. Hi, everybody. Good to see you guys. So anyway, yes, so this is onlinebeautybiz.com. If you're brand new with Avon, you might want to go here to Getting Started, because this will teach you this link will open up a page that will teach you everything from how does Avon work, how do campaigns work, how do I get paid, how do I know if I got an order from my customer, all of that's in there. So all of the Getting Started is going to be in there under Getting Started. Over here on the left-hand side is just my most recent blog posts. On the right-hand side right here, it says sign up today to receive our newsletter. So if you're on my team, you're already getting them. Okay, if you're receiving emails from me, then you're already getting them. If not, you can sign up here to sign up so you'll be on our list. So every time we create a new blog post, you'll get an email with the training that goes along with it. So usually that's on Monday and Wednesday, and then Friday you'll get an email about what's coming up on the weekend, like our Facebook Lives and stuff like that. So usually it's only about 3 times a week you'll get an email from me, but sometimes it'll be more if there's something special, like if we're doing a Facebook party or something. Right underneath that is a search. And if you ever want to know how to do something, you can literally put it in this search and search for it, and hopefully I'll have a post that will be about that. I have a lot of posts in there covering a lot of topics. Hi, Anitra. Good to see you. And then underneath that is categories. So if you just want to know Facebook parties or fundraising or leadership or mindset, you can pretty much find anything that's tagged with those categories by clicking on them. So if you're on your computer, it looks just like this. The blog posts are on the left side right here, and then the sidebar, it's called the sidebar, is on the right side. If you're on your phone, this right side sidebar will just move right underneath the posts. So one long thing. So it's about 6 or 7 posts, and then that sidebar will be underneath it. So if you're trying to find it on your phone. But today we are going to talk about this one right here. Be heard, expand your reach on social media. So I know a lot of us are trying to grow our business online, and social media is a great way to be seen and heard and get the word out about your business. And so, social media is all about communicating, right? It's not about just blasting out there, hey, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. Buy my stuff, because you know what happens? People will start ignoring you. In fact, they might even not block you, but there's a button they can click on that's ignore or silence, or I can't remember what it's called, but it will not show them your post if they click on that, and you'll never know it because you'll still be friends, but you just won't. They won't be seeing your post. So it's all about a two-way communication, right? I mean, we go on Facebook to be friendly and to make connections and get to know people. And so that's a lot of what we're going to try to talk about today. And but before we get into that, I want to talk about this right here, our daily 8. So growing your Avon business is pretty simple. And in case you're wondering why I do this every week, it's because we have new people on every week. So we got to get the basics, right? So hi, Erin. Good to see you. So growing your Avon business is pretty simple. There's really only 4 main steps. Number 1, prospecting for new customers and recruits. Number 2, getting a brochure to every single one, every campaign. Number 3, following up with every single one, every campaign. And number 4, take the order, submit it to Avon, deliver, or they go to your website and place an order, and then just rinse and repeat. So when you first get started, we ask you to make a list of, like, say, 200 people, or as big of a list as you can of everyone you know. And you don't necessarily have to go out and call them all right now, or you might not call any, you might not ever call them, it's just get them out of your mind and on paper. That's your prospect list, and that should be a living, breathing document. Even though I've been in business 20 years, I still have a prospect list, because you're crossing people off and you're adding people every day. You should be if you want to be growing your business, right? So if you're brand new, then I'm going to ask you to go through that list and maybe call or text or email or whatever, maybe 3 or 5 people a day, whatever you want to do. And it's just a, hey, just want to let you know I just started my Avon business. I'm so excited. Can I send you a brochure? And that's just getting them, to see if they're interested, right? If they say no, nothing changed. They're still your friend. They're still your cousin. They're still whoever. Nothing changed. So then you just change the subject. Okay, great. How's Mary doing in school? Right? That's it. That's it. You don't have to push them. You don't have to beg them or anything. There's plenty of people out there that want it. So if they say yes, then you put them on your list of your customers who you're going to be following up with. That's your regular follow-up stuff. If they say yes, you're going to get a brochure to them, right? Whether it's digital or paper, doesn't matter. That's up to you how you want to work your business, but you need to get whatever you decide. And I do both, and you probably will do both depending on your situation, But so I will get a brochure to my customers and potential customers and anyone who's on my list every campaign without exception. And I use Campaign Mailer for that. We teach that. That's what we teach. We teach a system to make this easier so that it's automated, semi-automated, so that you don't have to worry about it. You get these things done and you can focus on building your business, right? But so we get a brochure to them every campaign. If they're brand new and you just ask them if you could send them a brochure, you're going to follow up with them a couple of days after, 2 to 3 days after, and say, hey, I just checking back on that brochure I sent you to see if there's anything you wanted. If it's not brand new, if they're on your list, then they'll go in your normal every campaign follow-up. But you've got to follow up with every customer and then take the order, right? If they give you an order, take the order. If they go on your store, awesome. You get paid 2 days later, right? So it's just that simple. So we have our Daily 8 system, and it's a proven formula. I'm going to click on this because it's going to take a minute to load. But anyway, our Daily 8 system is a proven formula. And so the idea being, if you get a job, you have to work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week for 40 hours a week. And our system teaches that you can, instead of doing that, you can accrue 8 points a day, 5 days a week for a total of 40 points a week, and you can grow a big business. And if you follow this plan consistently, do it in 90-day increments or do it in 30-day increments, whatever you want to do. But the key is do it and then repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. And so the real secret to your Avon business success is that there is no secret. It's just simply working the plan, being dedicated, being committed, and be consistent. That's the number one most important thing, is being consistent, right? So if you click here to download the Daily 8 plan, I just downloaded it. This is it right here, Daily 8. And it's about 9 pages. You might want to print a copy of the whole thing, and then you can just print this page too. You can make a bunch of copies of this one page. This is where you're going to track your numbers. So you just put week of. So it will be like today's date if your week starts on Sunday. So 2/7/21, or if you want to start on Monday, that's fine. Week of 2/8, right? And then days of the week. What days of the week are you going to be working? This is so important. You need to schedule time into your calendar to work your business, because you can work your business full time. You can work it part-time, but what you can't do
is work it sometimes.
Yes, you can't do sometimes. If you do sometimes, you're not going to have a business. Hi, Chris. Welcome. Hey, Chris. So, and then again, this is not me keeping tabs on you. This is not me telling you what you have to do. You're telling yourself what you have to do. So I'm looking at 8 points a day, 40 points a week, as kind of if you want to build a big business, right? If you're just looking to play with this, or you're just looking to make a little bit of extra money, then maybe you could do 4 points a day, 5 days a week, or 8 points a day, 3 days a week. I would suggest that you keep consistent and try to do something every day. So if you do 1 hour a day, if you do 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, or 3 days a week, 2 or 3 hours each time, that's fine too, but you've got to be consistent. Okay. And so you're going to get points for doing this. So you're going to be like 1 point for every name that you collect, and you go out prospecting, you go out meeting people. And so 1 point for every name. Now, how do you do that? Well, if you have your list, if you're brand new and you have your list of 200 names, if you've contacted 3 of them and they said, sure, I'd love to have a brochure, that's 3 points. Okay. If they don't want a brochure, don't count them. because we're just we're prospecting for customers. This is 1 point for every name. The name in this case means that you've gotten their okay to add you to their list, right? If you're out prospecting and you're out passing out brochures, sometimes I stand in front of a grocery store and I pass out brochures and I get their contact information. Sometimes if we're in a restaurant or something like that, I'll ask the waitress and get their contact information. Another way you can do this is if you're using a digital brochure, is you could be going through the checkout and talk to the cashier, and you could say, hey, do you like Avon? Or however you want to start that conversation with Avon, and say, Avon has this amazing new digital brochure. You literally can just browse it page by page on your phone. And it's like phone friendly, mobile friendly. Would you be interested in seeing one? Can I text it to you? And then you get their contact information, put them in your phone, and then text them the brochure. So now you've got their name, right? So that's a point. So there's lots of different ways to do it. You could put a little, if you're using paper brochures, you could just put a little sticky, one of these Post-it note thingies on the front of the brochure, and then just say, hey, if you'll put your name and number on there, I'll give you a quick text before I place my order. Tina, a girl on my team, she has a little notebook. It's only like the size of this Post-it, little tiny notebook that hangs on a keychain on her purse. She got it at Walmart or somewhere. And she does that. She pulls that off of her purse and she says, can I get your name and number so I can text you before I place my order? Usually when people hear you say text, they're okay with it. They're like, yeah, sure. And they'll give you the name and number because they figure, oh, she's just going to text me. Sometimes if you say, if I call you, then they're going to get all weird. Oh, I don't want you to call me. So it's just kind of using words that don't scare people too, right? So, hey, I'll give you a quick text. So you're prospecting, a point for every name. Same thing if you're prospecting for people to join your business, a point for every name. Then now you're going to follow up with them 2 or 3 days after meeting them. This is the ones you just met 2 or 3 days ago, and you got their name, their contact information, you gave them a brochure. Now you need to follow up with them and say, hey, I met you at Walmart on Monday. Just checking back to see if there's anything I can help you with. It's just that. That's it. It's simple, right? So 1 for every follow-up you do. Now you're going to get a brochure to every customer, every campaign. And I give you 1 point for that because we teach a system, and literally it takes you 1 minute. If you're using Campaign Mailer, it takes you 1 minute to send them out to hundreds of people if that's what you want. And so I just give you 1 point. If you are delivering brochures, you're driving around town, you're delivering brochures, then give yourself more points, right? I mean, this is your business. You get to decide what works. The key is what I'm trying to get you to do is just be consistent, okay? So get a brochure to every customer. Now you're going to do follow-ups, texts or calls or Facebook messages, whatever, 2 to 3 days before you're going to be placing your order. This is critical. And if you're new and you're thinking, oh, I don't want to bother them, I don't want to be a bug, you probably felt that way from time to time, right? That's one of the cool things about my system is it doesn't leave time in there for that because everybody's already on the list. You just go, we use Project Broadcast in our system to send the text out to all of our customers at once. And you just change it to the new campaign number and the date when your order's going in, and you click send, and you're not looking at any individual name, so you're not in your head going, I don't want to be a bug. Oh gosh, she hasn't ordered in 4 campaigns. Maybe she's not interested. Get out of your head. You don't want that, right? Your job is to get a brochure to every customer, every campaign, or every prospect, every campaign. And then And that's your job, not to worry about, oh, well, they have ordered or they haven't ordered, and what if they don't want me to call them or whatever. That's not your job, okay? So now you're doing that follow-up, then you're going to place your order with Avon, and then, sort and deliver your orders. So you get points for all of these things, right? Passive prospecting is putting brochures out door to door, various businesses, etc. Chris, who's on this call, has this really cute guy, like a butler statue that she has in front of her house that has a tray with she puts brochures on it, and she puts like slips where people can fill out their contact information. So if she gets them that way, she can count them as prospects because they're names that you're getting, right? So get creative. Whatever you're doing, the idea is to do it, right? So posting on social media, you get a point for doing that, right? If you're scheduling posts, get a point for doing it. If you're doing a show or a party, whatever, of course, if you sponsor somebody, that's a point. And when you train that new person, each time you train them, that's a point. And then we get, if you're in leadership, looking at your reports, and then training. Training is critical to your success. Business training, Avon U, Avon Facebook page, Avon Facebook group, their webinars, all of that. Online beauty biz, being here with us on Sunday night, all of that is training. So give yourself points for that. And then personal development, because your income is only going to follow your personal growth, right? And those last two, they're critical for your business, but they are not income producing activities, meaning you still need to do them, but don't do them during the time when you can be actively building your business. Work it around that. So do it later in the evening or earlier in the morning or whatever, and spend your daytime or your prime time prospecting for new customers. So this is your daily 8. And then the rest of the pages just kind of explain more about how to get those points. So you can download it here. And then we have a challenge for you, the Daily 8 Challenge. You can click here to log your numbers. It just pulls up a Google form, and you can put in your information, your name, and what campaign you're in, and how many points did you earn. What did you do good? What were your wins this week, right? What did you not do so well, or what did you struggle with? And, just the fact, again, I'm not here to judge you. Just the fact that you took the time to fill this out, you've already figured out what went wrong, so you probably won't do it again. This is something in your own head, right? I'm only here to cheer you on. I'm here, when you fill this out, I might send you a card. I might recognize you in our online beauty biz group. I might call you out. I might share your ideas. But I'm here to acknowledge you and to cheer you on and just help you be more successful, right? So that's all this is, this form. It's a way for you to keep yourself accountable by filling it out every campaign, every week, actually. And it's also a way for you to continue to grow your business because it keeps it front of mind. So take this sheet right here and have it on your desk, or have it somewhere where you're filling it out as you go every day. You're filling it out. You're marking the points down.
Yeah, this form doesn't help us at all. It doesn't matter to us whether you fill it in or not. This is to help you, and you're going to know if you're putting in information and it's not really true. You say you got 3 customers, but you really only got a name from one customer. You're going to know at the end of the campaign when you don't get any orders. So it's not a cheat sheet. It's a way for you to log your business and to learn how to do things better, to improve yourself. Because when you do something right, you're going to repeat it, and when it goes wrong, you'll say, how can I fix that to go right the next time? So this is for you, and hopefully it'll get you on a consistent basis, like she said. Growing your business.
Yep, absolutely. And then be sure you're a member of our Online Beauty Biz Facebook group. I assume most of you are, or you probably all are. Mm-hmm. So be sure, because this is where we'll recognize you. This is where we will do things to help you grow your business as well. Okay, so today let's talk about being heard on social media. So, communication is effective when we listen attentively to others and they in turn listen to us. That's the key, right? When we put something on social media, we want people to hear us. We want people to hear what we're saying. And we want to maybe say something that might affect them somehow, either make them happy, make them sad, make them make a decision, whatever, right? And so, but what if you find yourself among loud people and you find that your voice drowns in theirs? And if you're not being heard, if you're like constantly promoting on social media, or even if you're just doing normal social media and you're promoting your business and you feel like you're not being heard, we tend to pull back, right? We tend to keep to ourselves and try to find other ways to draw attention to ourselves. And when we feel ignored, we feel maybe hurt and damaged relationships can happen, right? But when we feel like we're being heard, it makes us feel validated and valued. So it's also possible to be heard but not realize it, because maybe we didn't get the feedback or the response. So that's what I really want to push, because when you make posts on social media and nobody comments or nobody likes it, don't assume that you're not being heard. You have to let go of that. You have to tell yourself, that's all right, people are seeing it, because people don't always respond out loud, if that makes sense. They don't always. It's the strangest thing. I mean, I do Facebook Lives. I'm now doing them 3 days a week. I used to do them every day on my Avon business page. mostly for my customers, but a lot of reps follow me too. And I usually get 2 or 3 people live with me, and that's it. And then maybe another 3, 4 people will replay, right? And I've been doing this for like a year and a half now, every single day up until recently. I just cut it back to 3 days a week. And all this time, a lot of times I'd be thinking, I don't know if it's really worth it. I don't know if anybody is watching it, or if I'm even affecting anybody. And you would be surprised. People come out of the woodwork that you had no idea. There are so many lurkers on Facebook, you guys. In fact, I would say the majority of people, and Richard's one of them. He posts stuff now and then, but I mean, I do it. You probably do it too. But you're on Facebook, you're watching, you're paying attention to what your friends are doing, and you might like a post or something, but more it's in your mind. It's like, oh, cool, he moved. Okay, awesome. And you don't ever say anything. And so he's sitting there going, wow, I posted this and nobody responded. So don't take that personal, because you don't know. It's the strangest thing. I will get people that will just join Avon and I have no idea where they came from. And when I make the connection with them after they join Avon and I talk to them, and they'll say, well, I heard you do a live on this subject and it really caught me, and so I've been following you. And you don't know who you're reaching. You really don't. You'd be amazed at how many people are watching you and you have no idea. So don't beat yourself up if you don't feel like people are seeing you. But I'm going to give you some ideas here on how to try to be seen more and how to maybe try to get more interaction on your posts, right? So so it's possible that to be heard but not realize it because we didn't get the feedback. So, they didn't respond to your post or whatever, they didn't like it. And the person on the other end could be trying to communicate too and is yearning to be heard, but they've got all the stuff in their head too, right? And so it's really important for us to try to stand on neutral ground, not allow ourselves to get freaked out if things don't go the way they should, or and just be open to the possibility of getting unexpected and new insights, right? And it's that's what's going to enrich your communication skills, especially on things like social media. Anitra says, I need to get better on doing lives. Yes, Anitra, you got to just do it. You just got to do it. So the first thing to be heard and expand your reach is define your target audience. So this is really important, is figure out who is likely to find your information useful, and who's going to be able to feel your presence as you work on getting those followers or building relationships. So you need to know who your target audience is, right down to the point of who are you speaking to? How old are they? Are they a man or a woman? They're probably mostly women if you're doing Avon, but are they older? Are they middle-aged? Are they young? What kinds of things? Are they moms? Are they soccer moms? Who are you trying to talk to? Because you need to know exactly who you're talking to. And even though, and this is where people get confused. Let's just say I'm young and I'm a single mom and I'm reaching out to soccer moms. Let's just say my goal is to reach soccer moms. So I'm going to write my post in a way that's going to attract those soccer moms. But in doing so, I'm still going to attract lots of other people. But when I'm talking specifically to that soccer mom, you say things differently because you have that picture in your mind of who you're talking to. So for me, I'm talking to grandmas usually. I'm talking to older people because I am, 63 years old and we have grandkids and great-grandkids. Well, no, we don't have great-grand, not yet. But we have grandkids. And so I'm talking to people probably more my age because they can relate to me, right? And so I'm talking about, do you remember back then, when in the 70s, when this was happening and that was happening? But even so, it doesn't mean I'm only going to attract those people. But by talking to those people specifically, who your target market is, you're just going to be talking in a way that's going to attract more people. And it's a little bit, I don't know how to explain it. It's a little bit like if I'm writing an email to Lisa, and I'm writing it differently to her. I'm saying, hey, girlfriend, what about this? What about that? Hey, remember this? I'm talking to her specifically, right? But if I'm writing it to a general audience, it's going to be more vague. It's going to be, it's just not going to hit the mark And so Lisa might not even recognize that I'm talking to her because it's vague. You see what I'm saying? I know it's just it's a small little difference, but you do need to know who you're talking to. You don't necessarily need to say my business is only going to sell to that person, but that's who you're targeting. Make sure you know who you're targeting. Okay, so then number 2, build your social media account. So social media is a huge place, right? Just because you're on social media doesn't mean people are going to see you. Just because you make a post doesn't mean people are going to see you. In fact, Facebook's algorithm makes it, they decide who sees you. You don't get to decide, right? So, but the more you can do as far as engaging with people, following them back and being visible, the more they're going to see what you're doing. The more, so you've got to interact. You've got to comment on other people's posts. You've got to like them. You've got to do different things so that the Facebook algorithm says, oh yeah, Lynn and Lisa are connected, so I'll show Lynn more of Lisa's posts, right? So, the more your followers see your content and your other activities, the more they start to look forward to seeing more of you on their timeline. So you need to be engaging with them. You need to be making them feel important. And God, that's huge. If you can make them feel important, they're going to want to see more of you, right? So post as frequently as possible and ensure that your content is good enough to make a lasting impression. As frequently as possible is mostly because very few people actually see your posts. So the more you post, the more likely someone will see at least some of your posts, right? But make sure your content is good to make a lasting impression. Don't just post stupid stuff. Try to make it into something that's emotional or relevant or important or whatever, right? And sometimes it could be stupid stuff, Sometimes you could be posting stuff like something that will get people's attention, like, all the memes that go around about, I don't know, if you're old enough to know what this is, you're old, right? What is this? I mean, because the rest of us are commenting and responding to that. And so that's building, So then your goal when you post that is to get people to respond and get people to interact with you, right? But so don't, and it says your content can be confirmed by the number of shares and engagements, but don't let that number get you down, because it's not an indication of how well you're doing. It's not an indication even of you as a person, right? Use it to gauge what your followers like and do more of that. So if you're looking at your analytics on your Facebook page and you're seeing that this post got a lot more engagement, try to figure out why, so you can do more of those kinds of posts. Denise says, I did one live and I get scared. And yeah, and Anitra's just done one too. She gets scared too, Denise. Don't let her kid you. So you guys, it's just, you got to do it, right? So number 3, be yourself on social media. This is huge. Let your own voice shine through, This is especially important with your Avon business, because you're the face of that business, right? And so the field is crowded. There's lots of Avon representatives out there just like you, and it might be just your personality and your voice that makes a difference for potential customers. I post all the time. I love unicorns because unicorns are unique and they don't let they're mythical, but I mean, they don't let things stop them. They're not afraid to try something new. I love unicorns for that, and they're beautiful. But be your own kind of weird, and people who are weird like you are going to be attracted to you. I guess that's the easiest way to say that, right? We're all weird in some way or another. We all have our own quirks, our own ways of doing things, our own ways of thinking. And if you just be you and you be real, you're going to attract people who are just like you to you. And you're going to build a following of people that love you way more, even though they've never met you, way more than just, trying to talk to the world out there and not know anybody and just, you're just saying things. So in an impersonal world, consumers are clamoring for more personal, more human experiences. So even share things about your life, Don't make it all about your life, but a little bit could be, sharing about your kids or your what's life like at your house, right? Sometimes I will even post if something bad happens to me, or if I'm upset about something, I'll post. But I'm very careful about how I do that. Number one, it's not a bitch session. It's not a gripe. It's not I see people all the time that'll do FML. FML, oh, whoa. And I had to look that up. I didn't even know what it meant. But that's not what people want to see. they get responses. People will go, "What's wrong? What's the matter?" And they get responses, but that's not being real. That's looking for attention, right? No, instead you could say, "Wow, I had a really bad experience. Gosh, I fell and I broke my leg and whatever. I was crying and it was really scary because Richard couldn't be with me because I was at the hospital." I'm just making this up, right? It's okay to say that because you're being real. You can't be happy all of the time. Because if you're happy all of the time, your followers are going to go, "She doesn't even have a personality. She's perfect," So, so you can do that, but you want to turn it into something that's not so bad. So, "Oh yeah, it was horrible. But I got through it. I survived." Something, right? Like that, rather than just "woe is me."
Yeah. If you fall down, tell how you got up. Because people want to hear that. They don't want to keep hearing about you falling down.
Yeah. So Anitra says, I do defer scared. I guess she's saying she's admitting she's scared. I always wonder if people would trust my judgment as a person of limited vision in direct sales. So those of you that don't know, Anitra is pretty much blind. She uses a cane and she can't drive and stuff like that. But Anitra, you can't even tell you're blind when you're talking to you or when we're seeing you on a live. You can't tell. So I wouldn't let that bother you. And besides that, that's who you are. That's what makes you you. And maybe that's your weird that the other weird people are going to be attracted to, right? And I know you're not afraid to say it, that you're blind or that you can't, you're not afraid to say it. So say that in your live. Just say, "Hey, hope I look okay. I just worry because I'm blind and I can't see, but, hope that you still get something out of this," or whatever. Just make a little joke about it, or don't. It's up to you, right? But people are gonna, the fact that you're being real and the fact that you're being vulnerable is going to attract people to you more than just somebody who's perfect or who's saying things perfect. Trust me, it's true, right?
For those of you that were on the Avon virtual convention we just had, they had Sally Hogshead on the last day, and that's what she said. She says you can't compete with other people, because you don't know what they are. But if you're your best you, nobody can beat you, and that's really what it's all about, just being your best you.
Yeah, I know you joke about it all the time, Anitra. I know you do. So you're not afraid to. So maybe joke about it in your live if that's what you're worried about. It's okay, you guys. It's okay to say, and Denise, you too. It's okay to say, "Hi, I'm live. Welcome. I'm happy you're here. I'm nervous. This is my first time." It's okay. Just be real, right? Nobody's going to expect. In fact, they're probably going to appreciate you a lot more because they're like, "Oh, I'd be afraid to do that. But look, she's afraid too. So that's cool." Right? So so be yourself. Just be yourself, right? And then also let your sense of humor shine through, if you have one. Wink, wink. Me, I don't really have one. Mr. Social over here has one. But people will tell me jokes sometimes, or they'll say something funny, and I'll go, "Huh?" Or I'll say something I think is funny, and everybody else is going, "Huh?" So whatever, right? So put marketing on the back burner on social media, right? Social media is different than traditional media. You can't use it as a megaphone for pushing your marketing messages out to the masses. And I hate to break it to you, but people didn't sign up for Facebook just so they could hear your sales pitch, right? People don't want to be sold or sold at, right? So people are on social media for a reason, to be social. And that means you need to be social. And so where social media really excels is in the area of customer experience and service. And so if you think about it, there's no better form of marketing than providing your customer with a great experience. That's what I was trying to do with my lives. It started out with, I made a commitment I was going to do a live every single day. And after a while, and it was going to be about who I am and what qualities I have that are unique to help you in Avon, how me as a rep could benefit you in Avon. And I talked about like things when I was growing up, what I did as a child that maybe helps me now, things I learned along the way, how I finally got the nerve to quit my job and do Avon full time. I talked about all these things and people love them, but there's only so much you can talk about. So then it sort of slowly morphed into personal development because I'm big on personal development. And so I talk about personal development. I share it in the Facebook groups because a lot of it applies to your business. But on my Facebook Live with my customers, a lot of it applies to them too. right? Because I don't say sell Avon so you can have social development. I'm saying, hey, this is, if you're a person that's beating yourself up a lot, this is what you need to do. Or if you're having a negative voice in your head, this is what you should do. And I'm talking about that because people are in jobs. They're being picked on by people at their work. They're passed up for promotions. They're afraid to speak. They're afraid to speak in public at their jobs. And so things like how to do a Facebook Live can help them too, right? And so I'm providing customer service to them, because it's not all about buy my Avon. It's about, hey, I want to help you. I'm here to help you be more beautiful and help you feel beautiful and help you feel important and capable, right? And so there's no better form of marketing than providing your customers with a great experience. And so, much of what happens on social media is less about what you want to say and more about providing a channel for two-way communication and responding to your customers when they come to you. So rather than saying, hey, buy my stuff, this is great stuff, show them how to use it and talk about the features and benefits. Try that facial mask on your face and snap a picture and share your thoughts. You've seen other reps do this where they'll put a mask on their face and take a picture of it and post that on social media and go, oh yeah, this is our mask. I tried it. This is what I felt like. This is how it felt for me. This is what I liked about it. This is what I didn't like, right? So you're doing things, you're providing more of value. Nowhere do you have to say, buy this, because your customer, if they're impressed with what you said, they'll reach out to you if they want to buy it. You don't necessarily have to say, buy this. Instead, provide them that service, provide that method of communication, right? Ask your followers what their favorite products are. Deb, a friend of mine on Facebook, she might be on here, Deb Baluki. I can't say your last name, I'm sorry. Baluki?
Yeah.
Anyway, she does a Friday favorites, and I copied her. So I copied you, Deb. But she'll do Friday favorites. She'll make a post, and she'll say, what are your favorites? Share in the comments below, and I'll enter you into a drawing or whatever, right? But it's then you've got your customers doing the selling for you because they're talking about what they love about different products. So those are ways to do it. You don't have to sell. You don't always have to sell. Your customers will ask for your link if they want it, and plus you hopefully have it in your profile, the link, right? Just work on getting that conversation going. Okay, so number 5, avoid egocentrism. So for all of us as human beings, it's easy to feel like we have the most valid points and we've achieved a lot and people have a lot to learn from us, right? So content that's reflective of excessive interest in yourself or self-praise can be a turnoff. So if you're always bragging about how good you're doing and you know what, if you're whining, if you're doing that FML like people do and woe is me and blah, 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 people don't like that either. So don't make it all about you all the time. Sometimes you want to make it about you because you want to show that you're a real person, but that's more like 20% of the time, not 80% of the time, right? 80% of the time you want to be adding value to their lives, right? And like I said here, if you're just talking about self-praise, all you're doing is, it sounds like somebody's reading your diary, right? So you want to be real. It's okay to share a story about your life here and there, and it's okay to share what you're upset about and what you're miserable about, or somebody died, or whatever. That's okay because that's you and that's real. But just don't make it the 80% of what you're talking about, right? So make it about your audience and their needs and wants. And so if you're posting about a problem in your life, like I said, that's totally okay. So tell your story or why it was or is a hard time for you, and then try to turn it into something positive. Even if that something positive is, well, I survived and I'm here, that's it, right? But so for the most part, you want to keep your social media posts upbeat and positive. It just amazes me when I see these, and they're reps. I have reps on my team that are doing that. Woe is me and FML and oh gosh, it's like every single day something else. It's kind of like, well, I know why you're not selling. I know why you're having a hard time with sales.
And it's in real life. I mean, if you're at a job or just having friendships as you go through life, you've noticed that if you have people that are real downers to be around, they're always moaning and complaining, they don't have very many friends, and you don't want to hang around them. You usually want to hang around the person that's all bubbly and happy and telling jokes or bringing in a secret recipe cake or something. You want to be around positivity. You don't want to be around negativity. So,
Yeah. So
yeah.
provide solutions, not problems. People love solutions.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Number 6, keep your message simple but captivating. So how we use language is also important, right? So you want the main part of communicating is to make sure your audience gets the intended message. And so there might be times when you're trying to write something and you're like wanting to show how your language skills, or you might use jargon that might be technical or we all try to look when we're writing, we all try to look like we know what we're talking about, or like maybe we know how to use English, right? Maybe we know how to write. But when you're in social media, I don't suggest you do that. It makes more sense to write the way you talk. So, don't worry about using a verb and an adjective and making sure that your sentences are correct, because you get too, if you get too much into the correct, proper way of saying things, you might lose people. And especially because people are skimming. They're not really reading it closely. They're skimming. And so trust me, it's just not necessary. Just be real and speak your natural language. Don't worry about using big words. In fact, the more smaller words you use, the better people will understand you. When I write blog posts, I write it and then I go back and I have to pare it down and put more simple words in because I want to keep their attention, right? The easier it is to understand, the more people will be pulled in and want to follow you. So be clear and to the point. Don't get boring, and don't try to use big words or big sentence structures. And then number 7, let your followers know that you're listening to them too. So don't just post and leave, right? Your followers may have questions or valuable information to share with you, so engage with them. If someone engages with your post, make sure you engage with them. Mm-hmm. If they like your post, then great. If they don't say anything, maybe go to their page and look at some of the things and like some of their posts or comment on some of their posts. The idea is get engagement going, right? If they make a comment on your post, if they say, and I see this all the time, like people will, like when I'm doing my lives and I'm talking about it, somebody might say, well, I don't have a problem with that, but this is how I do it. And I'll say, oh, that's awesome, or thanks for sharing, or whatever. I'm trying to engage with them. And so maybe ask questions back. If they respond to you, then try to say something to them to keep the conversation going. And then engage with them. Be sure that you're not just stalking or what's the word? You're not just on Facebook
lurking.
Yeah. Make sure you're not lurking, and that you're commenting and liking and showing people how much you appreciate them. And it can be really simple. They post a picture of themselves, that's really beautiful, and you can like it or love it. But you can also say something. You can say, wow, that's beautiful. You look beautiful. Trust me, they will appreciate it. And they'll remember when you're making comments, right? So take time to follow their posts where possible and join in on anything that's relevant, any discussions. And then be authentic. So before you share contact, make sure it's right. Make sure it's true. So Snopes, I gave you a link here. Snopes is a great place to find out if something's true, especially in the climate we've been in with social media and with politics. Politics is not a good thing to share if you're trying to grow business. And I really try hard not to, but sometimes I get sucked into. I mean, we're all human, right? But before you pass something on that may or may not be true, I suggest you go to Snopes and just ask that question. Put a couple of the keywords from that post in, and more than likely you'll find it in there, and it will tell you if it's true or not true. So, don't pass it on if it's not true, right? So people will seek to understand what you're trying to communicate, but there are a lot of people out there that will try to verify it. And sometimes if you pass off false information, somebody's going to come back to you and go, that's not true, or that's fake news, or whatever, right? And if they do, then make sure that you acknowledge that. Say, I'm sorry, I should have checked. whatever. But it's going to help to show that you're willing to learn and admit that where you misunderstood some facts and that you're okay with, that you'll correct your mistakes. And then number 9, be patient. So there is so much information on social media. People are having content coming at them from every angle. Your phone is dinging every second. Social media is dinging every second. And then depending on how many platforms you are, you got Pinterest, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and you've got all this stuff coming at you, and everybody does. There's massive amounts of content. So most people, including those that are logged in to look for useful information, end up looking at entertaining stories, right? And it might take time for your account to be noticed, especially if your focus is not entertainment or something that's fun. People will eventually give you the needed attention if you stay present and you post regularly and you engage with them and appreciate their posts and make them feel important. They will eventually give you that needed attention, but it might take a little bit of time. I've been on, I've been with Avon 20 years, been on, Facebook since the beginning. And I have close to 5,000 friends, and I don't always see people's posts. And so, in fact, I post in groups about, we do these breast cancer events that I run. It's my fundraising for the American Cancer Society, but they're vendor events where vendors from other companies like Tupperware or Mary Kay or whatever, people who do crafts, can get a booth at our event. And I post in these groups, and I say, fill out the form here or private message me. And I can't tell you how many times they'll just comment or respond, and I don't always get that notification. I try to watch for them, but I don't always get it. So don't just assume that because you commented on something that somebody saw it, because Facebook, again, decides what you see and what you don't. You really don't have any say in that. So, but pay attention to what types of posts get interaction, and try to do more of those. And always be learning and analyzing, right? Try to identify what your audience preferences are and repackage your message based on those. Try different ways. Try video, try text, try images. You can take the same piece of content, you can show it 3 different ways, So try different things. And it's going to be a process to find where you fit in, and that can take time. And it could be an evolving process. I don't know that any of us ever really have it down, especially because the internet is changing constantly. So being public is key to social media marketing. So like it or not, it's meant to be a public activity. That's why we market on social media, because we want people to find us, right? To be seen and be heard. So doing nothing and remaining silent is the worst thing you can do. People are not going to, I get new reps sometimes, they'll create a Facebook page and they'll say, they have their online store and they say, I didn't get any orders. Well, what did you do to get those orders? Well, I gave my link, but did you follow up? Did you repeatedly follow up? Because just because somebody says they want to see a brochure, it might take 2 years before they place an order. So if somebody wants a brochure, I'm not going to take them off my list for like 2 years. Sorry, my phone. So I'm not going to take them off. You know what? There are times when, and I have a blog post about this in here, but you're building up your list and you're adding all these people to campaign mailer, and you're mailing brochures. And there's going to be a time when you can't afford to keep mailing that many brochures, especially if they haven't ordered. And so I will take them off of campaign mailer because it costs me money. I usually wait about 4 months. And if they haven't ordered at all in about 4 months, I'll try to get them to order. I'll send them a message or whatever. And if they don't, then I'll take them off. But I don't just take them off. I move them to my book list. And I continue to follow up with them because it's a lot cheaper. It's cost me 2 cents to send them an Avon book digitally as compared to in the mail. So I don't ever stop following up with someone unless they tell me to take them off or they tell me to stop. I don't ever stop. So you need to stay. It's the same thing. You need to be consistent. You need to keep doing it. You need to just keep going, keep doing all the right activities, and it will come. It will. It might take a little while, but it might come. So worrying about what other people might think, you have to let that go. For the next time you start worrying about what other people think before you make a post on social media or whatever, ask yourself, what will they think if I don't publish posts? And the answer to that question is probably nothing. If you don't publish a post, they won't think about you at all. They won't even notice that you didn't publish one because they have so many other things going on. Seriously, they won't even notice that you didn't publish one. And if you publish a post, first off, they're not going to think you're stupid or weird or anything else. They're probably going to either like it or not. They'll either skim past it or whatever, but more than likely they're not going to judge you. So let that go.
Yeah, it just may not be relevant that day, but they may like your next post. The main thing, like she said, is to be consistent and current. Keep putting stuff out there and keeping it current, especially your web pages and everything else. If somebody goes to your web page and it's not current, that's a death knell, because they're gonna, if you go like say you go to look up pennies online and you want to buy something and the website is from last year, you're not going to be happy. You're not going to go to pennies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The majority of people on this call don't have websites.
Yeah.
But he's absolutely right. And you need to do our daily system, our daily 8, and do it consistently and stay with it. Follow up every campaign, get a brochure to them every campaign, continually look for new people to talk to every campaign. Right? That's what's critical. Being consistent. So yes, you might make mistakes, but it's better to make mistakes and learn from them than to do nothing at all and don't learn, right? One of my favorite quotes is from Wayne Gretzky. He says, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right? If you don't take a shot, you missed it. You're not going to get anything from it if you didn't do it, right? So if you ask somebody, or if you see somebody, or somebody that might like Avon, but you're afraid to ask them, and you don't ask them, guess what? They're not going to buy Avon from you, or they're not going to join your team, and they might join mine because I'm going to ask them. Okay, so that's what you need to really be careful, because trust me, what you don't want to have happen, and I know a lot of people who this has happened to, and is you don't want to go to the next Avon convention, wherever it's going to be, and see your best friend get up on stage to get an award, and you didn't sign her up, right? Because you didn't tell her about it, because you thought she might not be interested. But I saw her, and I met her, and I told her about it, and she signed up, and now she's like a #1 top seller. That's what you don't want to have happen, right? So get out there and make mistakes if you have to, right? Learn from them and grow. And before long, you're going to develop that social media following, and you will be heard. And when you're able to put some of these items together, you can create a better top-notch user experience for your communities, your consumers, and potential consumers. People will begin to see you as helpful and responsive and someone who cares about their needs. That's what I try to do on social media, is I try to show people how much I care. Because that's really when it comes down to it, that's what really makes the biggest difference. If someone thinks you care about them, that's huge. That's just huge. So when you speak to people as they like to be spoken to, you'll have no problem conquering the noise on social media. So it's going to take time. It doesn't happen overnight. But that's what I have on expanding your reach on social media. And Sandy says, oh, yes, that has happened. Whoops. That has happened to me. Always, always, always ask. Yes, Sandy, I know that's happened to you. So, so that's what I have. So let me come back to us. Boom. So, did I miss anything? Sorry, Anitra, your phone died.
She's back.
Okay, you guys, I hope I didn't lose you. But I hope that you found this relevant. Don't forget, all kinds of things happening at Avon right now. They have the trip incentive for Hawaii. Who's going to be on that trip? I want to know. I'm going to be there. What about you? Are you going to be there? I know Sandy's going to be there. Anitra, are you going to be there? Who else is on here? Denise, Chris, Aaron, Lisa, Cinda. You guys going to be in Hawaii with me? I will buy you a drink. We could have shots.
The bar is going to be busy.
Bar's gonna be busy. Lisa's going to be there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Doug too.
Doug too. Oh. Sandy, how about doing a grand opening on a business page and then sharing that on my personal page? Yes. Mm-hmm. In fact, I share posts from my business page to my personal page all the time because things get seen on your personal page more often than they do on your business page, because Facebook wants you to pay to play. So Facebook wants you to pay to promote on your business page. So they constrict your reach, so not as many people see it. So if you are sharing, if you create something on your business page and then share it to your personal page, then that's more people will see it, and then also have the link to your business page.
And so, Julie's going to be there too. Julie's going to be there buying us drinks.
Julie, I'll buy you a drink. Sandy's getting her swimsuit body in shape.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Anitra says, I'll go. I'll even double
back from her convention.
Double book my NFB, her National Federation for the Blind convention. Hopefully it's not at the exact same time. Hopefully you can do both. Yeah. And Denise is going.
All right.
Yes. All right, you guys. Yes, awesome. All right, so last week we did the magical goal setting. If you missed that, you might want to go find it, because I hope that I feel really good about it, but I hope that I did some incredible training last week to really help you set goals and get there so that you can earn these trips. Because, bottom line is, there's other things. I'm kind of going two different directions here, but there's other things too. Like there's a Marriott Rewards gift card incentive going on right now through Campaign 5. Avon has those $50 bundles that you can sell, that you can literally help you increase your sales. They have the incentive trip to Hawaii. There's another trip another incentive they just announced. I think you have to be, don't quote me on it, I think you have to be President's Club or higher, but if you do $1,000 in 2 campaigns or something, you're going to get some free products. There's all kinds of things going. There's the Pathway to Premier. So all of these things are going to help you also to get more money now, to get incentives now, and then to be on that trip in Jamaica, in Hawaii. But what I want to say is, bottom line is, if you decide if you're going to go, it's your decision. Lisa, it's your decision if you and Doug are going to go. Sandy, she says, you guys are great. And yes, working on the replay today and setting goals. And Denise says, just sold one. Woohoo! So to earn these things, you make the decision that you're going to go. First off, you have to say, I will be there. No question about it. I will be there. And then you have to break it down. Avon now has a tracker. If you go to the incentive, to the Hawaii page on Avon Now, there's a tracker, and you can see exactly what you need to do. Break it down into campaigns. How much do I need to sell a campaign? What do I need to do to get there? And even though right now that number might be really big, I know mine is. I have to sell like $1,900 a campaign. I might not be doing that, but I'm stretching. I'm trying to get to $1,900 a campaign. I'm doing everything in my power to do it. I'm using those bundles, those $50 bundles. I'm going to be putting together some other things every campaign to help you guys to grow your sales. But don't worry if you're not making that number right now. Just keep tracking it. Keep tracking how far off you are and what you need to do, because that puts in your head, okay, well, I still need to stretch and grow. But then we're going to have other times throughout the year, like Mother's Day, when your sales are going to go up, and the holidays when your sales are dramatically going to go up, that you're going to make up for what you're not doing right now. And if you're following what we teach you, to be prospecting every day and trying to get new people as customers, over time, that's going to increase your sales, because you get 2 or 3 new names from now. Maybe in the next couple of months, they're going to place an order, and they become customers, and they order maybe 3 or 4 times during the year. That's 3 or 4 orders during the year you didn't have before you met them. So your sales are going to grow. So don't panic if you're not meeting those numbers now. Just don't give up and keep doing everything you can to try to get to those numbers and above them. And you'll do it. It's just, you make the decision and you make it happen. Nobody else can do that. It's all up to you. So every one of you guys, I want to see you there.
Keep in mind, you have the encyclopedia of Lynn at your fingertips. If you go to the search bar in here on Online Beauty Biz, you can just type in just about any subject. She's pretty much written subjects, topics on every single topic you can think of. And she might have missed a few. And if you don't see it there, then ask her, because she's always looking for things to write about. Exactly. But that's the best way too. If you're looking for ways to grow a certain segment of your business a certain way, type it in the search bar and see what you come up with, and then start working on it. Break it down and do it.
Yeah. But you got this. We're still early in the game.
Mm-hmm.
we got till campaign 26. You have a whole year. Well, not a whole year anymore, but it's not far. I mean, we're only in the beginning of February. You got till the end of December, roughly. You got till campaign 26. I don't know, it might be the first part of December, but
yeah.
But you can do this, you guys, even if you're brand new and just starting. In fact, if you're brand new, your goals aren't quite as high as those of us that have been here a while. We have to increase our sales dramatically.
Yeah, well, the sooner you get started, the better it is, because you'll get the momentum going, and that's the thing. The sooner you get that momentum going, it's going to be a runaway train then near the end. So you'll be doing so much better. I see Denise just said she sold one too, one of those $50 sets. Those are great things. And Avon comes up with this stuff all throughout the year. So once this is gone, they'll come up with something else, because they're looking for ways to help you sell. So keep watching for these.
And I'm going to keep doing that for my team. And that's going to be just for my team. I'm going to be offering incentives. But I will take those incentives and I'll make them available to you guys, not as incentives, because obviously I can't afford to pay out all of you guys. But I can still use like whatever it is. So like right now, the $50 bundles, I texted them to my team and I said, text these to 5 people a day. And if you sell X number of dollars, you're going to get this from me. And if you sell this many bundles, you'll get this from me. Well, in fact, I'll do that. I'm not going to give you the incentive, but I will give you the post. I'll post it in our Facebook group tonight. Okay.
Yeah, she created the image for it. So
I'll give you the image and the suggested text, and then you can go out and do this for yourself to grow your business. And I will try to do that every campaign for you. Like I said, I can't give you the incentive, but I can cheer you on. If you're filling out the Daily 8 form, I can cheer you on. I can give you the moral support and let you pick my brain and teach you what I know. I just can't afford to, there's over 1,000 people in here. I can't be giving out money or even samples to everybody, but I can give you the information and I can give you ways for you to grow your business. So I will work on that too. Okay, so that's all we have right now. Anitra says picking her brain is fun. Awesome. Thank you guys for being here. We'll be here again next Sunday, same time, same place. So we look forward to seeing you then, and we will see you in the Facebook group in the meantime, okay? And so have an amazing week, and I will talk to you guys soon.
Have a fun week, everyone. Bye-bye.